All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring the wild, fascinating universe of a truly empowering, creative, and inspiring artist who goes by the name Beholdify. Now, we aren't just looking at a traditional portfolio here, not by a long shot. We're essentially stepping onto the canvas of a real-world builder. Beholdify is doing this incredible thing where he seamlessly blends digital art, cutting-edge AI music, deep mindfulness, and real-world community action all into one cohesive, living masterpiece. So get ready, because this is absolutely going to ignite your own creative spark.
Right out of the gate, you get hit with this profound question in his work. The meaning of life is to find your gift. Now, that's actually the title of one of his AI-generated songs, and honestly, it perfectly sets the tone for his entire body of work. It completely captures his core drive to create. He's constantly seeking out his own gifts, but more importantly, he's building these platforms and philosophies that encourage the rest of us to go out and find ours too. So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Building a mythos. 2. Multimedia art. 3. The philosophy of egregianism. 4. Behold Arcana spiritual path. 5. Backpack pack community connection. And 6. An empowering creative journey. Section 1. Building a mythos. Okay, so Beholdify. It isn't just a noun or some quirky internet moniker. It's actually an active verb. It's the practice of revealing hidden form through conscious witnessing, reverence, and creative self-expression. And it's super fascinating because he actually evolved into this identity over time to build out a deeply personal mythos. Back in the day, he worked under names like Bold Media, creating these uplifting web projects, and DJ Beholdersphere for his music mixes. But shifting to Beholdify, that marked a massive transition from just making content to actively participating in the magic of witnessing and transforming the world around him. Section 2. Multimedia art. Beholdify's multimedia portfolio is just a wild, joyful ride. The sheer variety here is mind-blowing. If you hop on his YouTube channels, you can immerse yourself in 360-degree VR videos just hanging out with his cats, Thomas and Tika. Or, soar over these majestic snowy peaks in Utah through his absolutely stunning drone footage. But he doesn't stop there. He's crafting deep, melodic DJ mixes, producing original electronic tracks using the Suno AI music generator, and even using AI to co-create vivid spiritual artwork based on the tarot. The medium's always shifting, but the message, it remains exactly the same. Every single piece of art, whether it's a VR experience or an AI track about lucid dreaming, acts as a vehicle for his soul's expression.
Section 3. The philosophy of egregianism.
So, getting into the lifestyle side of things, Beholdify developed this highly practical philosophy he calls egregianism. An egregian is basically someone who fundamentally agrees with the ethical principles of veganism. Like, they reject the horrors of factory farming and they get the environmental impact, but they allow themselves slightly looser, more flexible rules. And this is a real game changer because it brilliantly bridges ethical eating with inclusive social dynamics. Because let's be real, rigid dietary strictness, it can be incredibly isolating when you're out with friends. Egregianism acknowledges that doing your absolute best based on your lifestyle, your social situations, and a genuine desire to avoid food waste is highly effective and just way more approachable for most folks.
And this perfectly illustrates the contrast he's drawing. On one side, you have the standard American diet. He hilariously, but let's face it, accurately, refers to this as being trapped in the matrix, that state of total ignorance about where our food actually comes from. Then, on the flip side, you have egregianism. This represents conscious, empowering choices. It's essentially a declaration that you're awake to the realities of the animal agriculture industry and you're actively taking steps to reject it. You're choosing health, ethics, and sustainability, but, and this is key, without losing your sense of joy.
To give all of this some structure, he outlines the 7 precepts of egregianism. You've got spiritual foundations like I am sacred and all life is sacred, mixed right in with some really practical growth mindsets. But the real anchor for me here is the 6th rule: be agreeable, uplifting, and curious. I mean, that right there perfectly matches Beholdify's overall energetic vibe across all of his art and community building. It is never about arguing or dividing or shaming people. It's entirely about being a profoundly positive, uplifting force in the world.
Section 4. Behold Arcana spiritual path.
Now, his approach to the tarot is entirely unique. Over in Behold Arcana, he isn't using the tarot cards for standard fortune-telling or divination. Nope. Instead, he treats this pantheistic mystery school as a highly structured, incredibly practical path for personal development, cognitive restructuring, and guided breathwork.
Every single card in this system represents a distinct human archetype or a way of being that we can consciously integrate into our daily lives. The way you progress through this school is so engaging. Just imagine it. You start by establishing your goals and selecting an archetype from the major arcana. Let's say you choose the Hermit because you want to focus on deep life purpose and seclusion. Or maybe you go with Strength to work on perseverance and blasting through internal resistance. From there, you spend anywhere from a week to an entire year actively embodying that archetype. You do this through daily affirmations, meditation, and breath work set to these custom musical beats. Finally, you graduate from that archetype by expressing what you've learned, maybe through writing or art, building this lasting creative legacy as you grow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about AI music, digital art, dietary philosophies, and an entire mystery school. But a mind as empowering and dynamic as Beholdify's, it doesn't just stay confined to a glowing screen or a meditation cushion. So you might be wondering, how do all these digital philosophies and spiritual paths actually manifest out there in the real world?
Section 5, Backpack Pack Community Connection.
Picture this. You're wandering around the vibrant, dusty grounds of a regional arts festival, something like Utopia down in Southern California. Suddenly, you cross paths with a nomadic wanderer. They've got these colorful fabric strips just fluttering from their backpack. Well, you've just met a member of the Backpack Pack. These folks aren't tied down to some static campsite. They roam the festival, deliberately facilitating these joyful, uplifting packs of solidarity between people. You might make an agreement with your best friend or even a complete stranger to support each other in a specific intention. And to seal the deal, the Backpack Pack member performs this really beautiful micro-ritual. They cut a colorful fabric ribbon for you to tie onto your own gear as a tangible, physical symbol of your connection. Now, if you want to become an official pact maker yourself, members vow to uphold 3 core principles. First is camaraderie, which is all about building mutual trust. Second is credulity. Now, I know normally that implies being gullible, but in this context, it's a beautiful thing. It means having a joyful readiness to believe in the magic of the moment. And third, panache. Doing things with confident, stylish originality. When you agree to the Backpack Pack Pact, you get to wear a specific orange fabric strip. It boldly symbolizes your dedication to these shared values for everyone to see.
And hey, speaking of festival culture, Beholdify playfully proposed a 12th principle to add to the famous 10 principles of Burning Man. His addition? Awareness and earth harmony. It's a little cheeky, sure, but it's a deeply profound proposal that perfectly ties his festival community action right back into his broader mission. It's all about conscious living, ethical responsibility, and true environmental respect.
Section 6, an empowering creative journey.
When you step back and look at the whole shebang, the unifying thread of this entire exploration is awareness. A Beholdify is a true world builder. He utilizes literally every tool available to him, from writing songs about waking up inside a lucid dream, to prompting AI to create empowering art, to advocating for ethical diets with egregianism, all the way to meditating on the tarot and wandering festivals making real-world pacts of friendship. He leverages his boundless creativity to empower others to live more consciously, ethically, and, most importantly, joyfully. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway from Beholdify's deeply inspiring journey. Remember, to beholdify is an active verb. It literally means to reveal hidden forms through your own conscious witnessing. So I've got to ask you, look at your own life, look at your own talents and your own community. What hidden forms are waiting for your conscious witnessing to reveal them? Go find your gift, bring your panache, and build your world. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep creating.